Hello, this is Mr. Agbamu Idonogrene. You are welcome to today's class. Today is Tuesday, 20th of January 2026. And today we continue with the topic we started yesterday, which is approximation. And our objective for today, we are going to round up what we did yesterday. We'll start with the first objective, which is approximate numbers to the nearest whole number, to nearest 10, to nearest 100, and to nearest 1000. Then we are going to look at how to approximate numbers to decimal places and significant figures. So before we do that, you need to know the meaning of decimal place and you need to know the meaning of significant figure. So let's go straight to the lesson. Okay, so this is the homework I gave yesterday and I've already marked this today in the class. So let's do the correction together so that you know how to get it. Now, the homework says we should approximate 18,624 to nearest thousand, nearest hundred, and nearest 10. So the same thing to 25,246 and 32,781. So how do we approximate these various numbers to nearest thousand, hundred, and 10? Let's start. As I said in the class, nearest whole number or nearest 10, 100 or 1000, you need to know your place value. So the first thing you need to do when you're approximating any number is to identify the place value. So let me start with this 18,000 so that you see what we are actually doing. So this is 18,624. So let's start with the place value. The first digit coming from your right, which is 4, the place value is the unit place value. Then the next digit, which is 2, the place value is 10. Then the next digit, which is 6, the place value is 100. Then the next digit, which is 8, the place value is 1000. Then finally, the last digit, which is 1, the place value is tens of thousand. So by the time you identify your place value, you can approximate to whatever nearest digit you are asked to do. Now let's see the first question here. It says approximate to 1000. So how do I approximate 18,624 to 1000? So first you identify the 1000, which is what we have done already. So the 1000 is this 8. So 8 is the 1000. That means you are going to write 1 and 8 and you stop there first. So this is your first step. Just write 1 and 8 and you hold on. Then go and check the next digit nearest to 8, which is your 100 digit, and that is 6. So 6 is the number nearer to 8. So you check your approximation scale we did in class. Let me just make a sketch of the scale. We says when you have a number range from 5 to 9, you round up, which is 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. We say a number in this way, you are adding 1, which is rounding up, that is plus 1. Then if you have numbers that range from 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, we said in this case you round down and that means you leave it without adding. So let's see this. So 6 is in the rounding up position, which is plus 1. That means we are going to add 1 to 18, which is plus 1. And when you add 1 to 18, it's going to give you 19. That means I'm going to clean this 1, clean this 8, and write your correct answer. So you clean this and write the correct answer, which is 19. Then the remaining digit will become 0, 0, 0. So if you take time and go through this explanation, you will see that approximation is not actually difficult. It's just to identify the digit you're approximating and from there know the number that is nearer to it and you round up or round down depending on the number. So 18,624 to nearest thousand is going to give us 9,000. So let's look at 100, tens, and the rest, and let's make it very quick and fast. So to approximate this number now to nearest 100, 100 is the 6, so I'm going to start with 1, 8, and I'll stop at 6. So 6 is the 100. So what am I going to do? Check 2. 2 is a round down number. You can see 2 is a round down number. That means you don't add 1. So just put 2 zeros to replace the 2 and the 4. So your answer will now be this. So this is the answer for this. Then if you go to nearest 10, we are going to stop at 2, which is 1862. 1862. So this 4, you now check since it's the one nearer to 2. So 4 is a round down number. That means you just put 0. There's no need adding 1. So these are the answers for the first number. Then the next number, let's do it fast. 25,241 to nearest 1,000. So 1,000 is stopping at 5. 1,000 is stopping at 5. Then 2 is nearer to 1,000. And if you check, 2 is a round down. So you leave with 0, 0, 0. So that is that. Then if you look at nearest 100, 100 is 2. So you are having 2, 5, 2, 5, 2. So 2 is the 100, you stop there. Then you look at the next digit nearer to 100, which is 4. So 4 is round down also. So you have your 0 and 0. Then finally, for nearest 10, 10 is 4. So you have your 2, 5, 2, 4. So that is where you stop. Then you check. Look at 6. 6, which is nearer to the 10, which is 4, is a rounding up number. That means we are going to add 1 to this. We are going to add 1. So if I add 1, 4 plus 1 is going to give me 5. That means I'll clean this and correct the number. So my answer is going to be 2, 5, 2, 5 again. Then you put your 0. That means you add 1 to this 4, becoming 25250. Then finally, 32,781. My answer for nearest 1,000 is going to be 30. What now? This is the 1,002. Then look at 7. 7 is a round up number. That means you add 1 to 2 to become 3. Then look at 7 again, which is for 100. 7 is the 100 digit. Okay, let's end this one, sorry. Then complete it with the remaining 3 zeros. So you approximate to nearest 1,000 is going to be 33,000. Then this is to nearest 100. 100 is 7, which is 3, 2, which is 3, 2. Then you check 8. 8 is nearer to 7. That means you add 1 to this 7. It will now become 8. Then every other one will become 0, 0. The nearest 10. 10 is the 8th here. So 1 is a random number. So you are now adding 1 to 9 to 8. So you are going to have 3, 2, 7, 8, 0. So this is your answer. So take time and go through this work. This is how you approximate to nearest 1,000, 110. All right. So let me erase this. We don't need this. Let's take this out. Okay, let's look at whole number. As I said yesterday, whole number is the number before the point. So this is the whole number. This is the whole number. You see, this is the whole number. Very, very important. So if I want to approximate the whole number, all I need to identify first is to identify the whole number digit. So by the time you identify the whole number digit, then you now check the number nearer to the whole number and approximate it. So let's clean them. Now that we know what whole number is, let's get our result. So approximation to whole number. So this is 6. Look at the next number nearer to 9, nearer to 6, which is 9. So 6 is the whole number. The number nearer to 6 is 9. And look at 9. 9 is round up plus 1. So you do your plus 1. So 6 plus 1 will give you 7. So just clean this and put your 7. So instead of 6, your answer is going to be 7. So that is the answer of this. So I see that approximation to nearest whole is very simple. All right, let's go to the next question. So 12.3, the whole number is 12. Then check, look at 3. 3 is round down, so there's nothing you can do. You can't add 1 to 12. So this is the answer to number 2. Then the last question, 78 is the whole number. So if 78 is the whole number, look at the next one, which is 7. 7 is round up. So you do your plus 1. So 78 plus 1 will give you 79. So you clean this and write the correct answer. So clean the 8 and write your correct answer, which is 79. So this is what we did as homework correction in the class, and I've marked all these ones in class, and I've already scored it because I'm going to record it as one of our CAs. So that is all for the correction. Now let's go to today's class. Today's class, we are looking at decimal places and significant figures. Decimal places and significant figure. Let's start with decimal places. If you read through meaning, decimal places are those numbers, or we say digits, that you have after the point. Look at this example. I have 4.67803, 2.455, 0.3. So if you look at the digit after the point, how many are they? That is what we mean by decimal places. For example, 1, I have 5 digits after the point. Let me get my pen. So I have, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5. So there are 5 numbers, or you say 5 digits after the point. So therefore, this number is a 5 decimal place numbers. So take note of this. Then if you look at number 2, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. So there are 3 digits after the point. 1, 2, 3. That makes it a 3 decimal places number. Then the last one only have 1 number after the point, which make it a 1 decimal place number. So the numbers, or the digit after the point, the digit after the point is what we call decimal places. So you can be asked to approximate to a particular number. They can say approximate to 2 decimal. That means they want you to stop at 7. If I say approximate to 3 decimal here, I want you to stop at 8. If I say approximate to 1 decimal, I want you to stop at 6, which your answer will now be 4.6. Then you need to check the next that is nearer to 6, which is 7. 7 is a rounding up digit. That means you add 1 to 6. So to 1 decimal, this answer is going to be 4.7. So this is what we are going to do in example and the classwork we have today. So let's move on and see significant figures. Okay, in significant figures, what we are doing is we are counting those digits that are not zeros, especially those digits that start a number without zero. If you look at the meaning, we say significant figures are digits in a number that starts from the first non-zero digit. For example, look at number 1, it starts from 4. So 4 is the first significant, followed by 6 as the second significant, followed by 7 as the third significant, followed by 2 as the fourth significant. So this question, 4,672, is a 4 significant figure number. So look at number 2. Number 2 started with 0.0038. So these 3 zeros, 1, 2, 3, they are not significant because they start the number. So the number that is significant here is 1, which is 3, which is the first, 8, which is the second, 5, which is the third. So these are the 3 significant figures. That is why this number is a 3 significant figure number. Then look at 28.005. It's a 5 significant figure because this 2 is a non-zero, it's not a zero. So this 2 is the first significant, followed by 8. 8 is the second significant, followed by 0 is the third. Let me erase this. So this 0 is the third significant, then this other 0 is the fourth significant, then finally this 5 is the fifth significant. So these are the 5 significant digits we have in this question, 28.005. It's a 5 significant figure. So if you are asked to approximate to one significant figure, that means you take note of 2. 2 is the first significant, then you can now check 8, which is nearer to it, if it's to round up or to round down. So to one significant figure, this number is going to be 3. So this is the answer to one significant figure. So you will understand as we do example in the next slide. So this is what significant means and decimal places. Let's move on. Now look at the example. Let me just go straight to the answer. Let's just go straight to the answer. There's no need writing the questions out again. Now it says approximate the following to number one says to 2 decimal places. That means after the point count 2 digits, which is 4.4.67. So this is the second decimal, so you stop here. Now look at 8. 8 is a rounding up number, that is plus 1. That means your final answer is going to have plus 1. You're going to add plus 1 to this 7, which will make it 8. So you need to delete this and write the correct answer. So your final answer for 2 decimal place is 4.68. I hope we understand this. Remember, after the point is your decimal place, so you count 2. See, the question says 2, just count 2. 1, 2. This is 1, this is 2. So you stop here. Now, looking at 8, which is closer to 7, is a rounding up number, which is plus 1. So you add 1 to this 7, making it 8. So this is the answer for number 1. If you go to number 2, they say to 3 decimal places. So after the point, we have how many numbers? We have 1, 2, 3. So number 3 is the third significant. So your answer is going to be 0.003. So before you conclude, look at the next. 7 is nearer to 3, and this 7 is a rounding up number. So you are going to add 1 to this 3. So 3 plus 1 will give you 4. That means final answer of this number is going to be 0.04. So this is the answer to 3 decimal places. So please take note of this, is very, very important. Then finally, before we do our classwork, let's see the last answer in this example, which is significant figure. So the first one says approximate the following to 2 significant figure. So 2 significant is number 6, that is 1, 2. So your answer is going to be 4. Then look at 6. 6 is closer to 7. So you add 1 to this 6, it becomes 7. Then every other digit will be 0, 0. Then finally, this one says to 1 significant figure. 1 significant is this 3. So your answer is going to be 0.0000. Then look at 7. 7 is close to 3. So you add 1 to 3, it will now become 004. So this is your final answer to this. Remember, in approximation, significant is the first number that is not 0, while decimal is the numbers after the point. So this question says 1 significant figure. So 3 is number 1 significant. So you stop at 3. Then you look at 7. 7 means you should add 1 because it's rounding up. So add 1 to 3, it becomes 4. So this is why this is the answer. So take note of this. Finally, you can do this as a classwork. Follow the examples, explanation, do this as a classwork, and let me see what you have done. Then when you are through with this classwork, copy your assignment. And that is all for today's class. So in our next class, we'll continue with the assignment correction and the correction for the class work. So that is all for today's lesson. Thank you so much for listening. Do have a nice day.